Good morning, children. We are moving on to the next lesson. The name of the next lesson is Vision and a World of Colors. The first portion discussed in this lesson, you might have studied in your biology classes. So you can see the picture of an eye, of a healthy eye, and how image is formed in that eye. So as all of you have studied, a human eye has a convex lens in front of the retina. That is, it is through the iris and the pupil, light enters into the eye, and that light passes through the convex lens, and an image is formed on the retina. So, in detail, you have studied in your biology classes. So, this is a picture of a healthy eye, and it shows how an image is formed on the retina. Then there are two terms that you have to study here. The first term is the nearest point, and the second one is the farthest point. Nearest point. What do you mean by nearest point? It is the near point at which you can see an image clearly. That is, near point is the nearmost point at which you can see the image clearly. That is, if you keep your book in front of your eyes, and the minimum distance. Near point is the minimum distance that you are able to read an object. That is, keep your book in front of your eyes, move your book away from your eyes, and mark the distance where you can have a clear vision. And for a healthy eye, the nearest point is 25 centimeters. So another term that you have to study is a far point. Far point is the farthest point from a healthy eye to have a clear distance of an object. That is, if an object is kept at infinity or at a very high distance, the point at which you can see a clear image is known as the far. The far point of a healthy eye is considered to be as infinity or at a long distance. For a healthy eye, the far point will be at infinity or will be at a large distance. So you have studied in detail the image formation in retina. Since it is a convex lens that is found in our eyes, the image will be a real one that is found on the retina, and the image will be an inverted one. And through the optical nerves, the brain interprets that the image is not an inverted one, it is a erect image. So, through this eye, through our eye, we have only one convex lens in one eye. So, through this convex lens, we are able to see nearby and far away objects very clearly. How is it possible? So, how is it possible when we see a far object? When we look at a nearer object, what happens? The ciliary muscles get adjusted. Ciliary muscles get contracted. And what happens? The curvature of the lens increases. As a result, the focal length decreases. So, you are able to find out get a clear image of near objects. And then what happens when you look at a farther object? When you look at a faraway object, what happens? The ciliary muscles gets relaxed and the curvature decreases. As a result, focal length increases and you are able to get the vision of the faraway object. So, if it is possible to see a nearby and faraway objects in our retina very clearly, then it is the adjustment of the ciliary muscles that is found near our lens. You might have studied detailed about ciliary muscles. So, ciliary muscles adjust the focal length of the convex lens that is found in our eyes. the adjustment of the ciliary muscles in order to get a clear image of nearby and faraway objects on the retina is known as accommodation of the eye. Accommodation means the ability of the ciliary muscles of the eye to get a clear image of nearby and faraway objects on the retina is known as accommodation of the eye. So accommodation of eye is very important. We are able to see the nearby and faraway objects due to this accommodation. That is, the ciliary muscles adjust itself and we are able to see. Now, in a healthy eye, as we told, the image is formed in the retina. The image from far away and nearby objects passes through the convex lens in front of our eye and it gets converged on the retina and an image is obtained. For some persons, the image will not be obtained on the retina. That is, the image of nearby objects will not be obtained on the retina. It will be obtained behind the retina. This defect is known as long-sightedness or hypermetropia. Such people are able to see distant objects, but they will not be able to see nearby objects since the eye lens. There may be two reasons for this hypermetropia. Either the eye lens may have, the eyeball may have become smaller. The size of the eyeball becomes smaller. So what happens? The image will be formed behind the retina. Or else the power of the lens may have decreased. As the power of the lens decreases, the image formation will be away from the lens. So the defect known as hypermetropia is due to two reasons. Either the size of the eyeball may have decreased or the focal length may have decreased. In these two cases, the image will be formed behind the retina of nearby objects. These people are able to see far away objects, but they will not be able to see nearby objects. So the defect is shown in the figure, and this defect can be rectified by using a convex lens in front of the eyes or in front of our convex lens. That is, if you are using a convex lens of suitable power, as you see in the picture, the image will be formed on the, or image can be formed on the retina. So hypermetropia can be rectified using a convex lens of suitable power. Next defect is myopia or short-sightedness. Such people have the capacity to see nearby objects, but they cannot see the distant objects. There may be two reasons. What may be the reason? Either the eyeball may have elongated. So the image will be formed in front of the retina. So eyeball may be elongated. So instead of falling on the retina, the image will be falling in front of the retina. Or second case, the power of the lens may have increased. As the power of the lens increases, the image will be formed near to the lens. So either the eyeball has increased in size or the power of the lens may have increased. In such cases, the eyes will not be able to see faraway objects, but they can see nearby objects clearly. This defect is corrected using concave lens of suitable power. So as you can see in the figure, a concave lens is provided in front of the eyes so that the light after falling on the concave lens, it falls on the convex lens of our eye and gets converged on the retina. So this defect is known as myopia or short-sighted. Then another condition is you may have seen elderly people. They hold a newspaper a bit farther away from their eyes. That is because as age increases, the near point of the eye also increases. As I already told, the near point of a healthy eye is 25 centimeters. But as age goes on, the near point, instead of being at 25 centimeter, it becomes about 40 centimeters. This defect is known as presbyopia. And this defect can be rectified using a convex lens of suitable power. Presbyopia is not at all a disease. It is a physiological change that will happen to all of us as age goes on increasing. So this defect is known as presbyopia, and you can rectify this defect using a convex lens of suitable focal length. Next you have to study is power of a lens. Power of a lens you have studied in the earlier lesson. So there is a prescription given there, and in that prescription if the doctor has written plus 1.5D. Plus 1.5D is the power of a convex lens. So what will be the defect? Convex lens means it may be hypermetropia or maybe presbyopia. And if it is written in the prescription of an ophthalmologist, if it is written as minus 2D, that is minus 2 diopter. Minus indicates that it is a concave lens. And concave lens is given for a person who is suffering from myopia. So this is what you have to study in that power of lens. Then in your textbook it is given the importance of eye donation. There are many people who are suffering from blindness due to certain damages in the eye. So if we are donating a healthy eye, that is after the death of a person, if the eye is donated, then you can give life to many of the blind eyes. That is a very charitable service, and the importance of eye donation is given in your textbook. You can read it. So by this we have come to the end of this session. Next session we will study about dispersion of light. Thank you.